Okay, good evening. Welcome to Nonna's Fix It Shop. Just want to do a quick one on a camera bag I've been looking for. Now, because of the way airlines changed their size restrictions, me and Mrs. Fix It, we're off overseas for a wedding fairly soon. Now, I like to take my camera gear with me. I'm a keen photographer, just amateur stuff, but I've got some reasonable equipment. But the dilemma these days is, how big a bag can you take? Now, if you're taking camera gear overseas, you wouldn't really want to put it in the hold. When you've seen how some of these guys throw these cases about, or how some of the bags are handled, you really would not want to put a camera bag or a bag that's got camera gear in it. Camera gear can be quite expensive and you really wouldn't want to put it in the hold, so it's going to go into the cabin with you. Now, one of the problems these days is, for the most part, unless you're paying for speedy boarding on a particular airline, you have to pay extra for cabin baggage. You get your small bag to go under your seat. What are you going to do with that? I mean, that's okay for a few little bits, but realistically, you can't take camera gear in that. That's no use at all. So you're going to want to take a cabin bag that you can put overhead in the overhead locker. But the problem is, what size do you take? Now, if you have a look on some websites, you get a reasonable size cabin bag. And I've got quite a big camera bag. Well, it's not huge, but it's quite big. This is a Manfrotto, and this is probably my favourite camera bag. I've had it for quite a few years now. It normally goes with me everywhere, on planes, in the car. It's fantastic. It's really robust. It's got all the space I need, all the pockets I need, the whole thing, the whole shooting match. It's brilliant. I love it. And it's been a really faithful bag. It's still in good condition after having travelled a lot of different places. And I've always taken it on a plane with me. I've always been able to put it in the overhead locker, which is how it should be. However, on some airlines now, they're reducing the size of everything. And on the particular airline we're going to use, which I'm not going to mention because they really don't deserve a mention. I think most people probably guess who they are because they do come in for a lot of stick. I was looking at the size of the cabin bags that you can take. Now, the cabin bag size for the overhead locker is now restricted to 55 centimetres high, 40 centimetres wide, and 20 centimetres deep. Now, my existing camera, or my current camera bag, is okay height-wise, it's okay width-wise, but from the back to the front here is quite a bit oversized. And I've heard tell that what this particular airline in question are doing is they are checking these kind of bags, and they've changed the way they check them. You used to have a basket on the floor, you drop your bag in. Okay, if it went in, you're good to go. It now seems to have changed it. Now, this is only from what I've seen. There may be, if you've got other things that you've seen, please drop that in the comments below. But from what I've seen, and what I've seen on a couple of videos that talk about this, they've now got a kind of framework, a deep frame, with a little gap at the top where your case handle can be. But you've got to put your bag into that. Okay, and that framework is 20 centimetres or 200 millimetres or 8 inches deep. And if your case sticks outside of that, they charge you. And it seems that they're charging, there's different stories, but something between 60 or 90 euros they're charging to then put your bag into the hold of the plane. Now, that's a pain. I really don't want to do that. I don't want to get caught out, okay? I do not want to get trapped into having to put my camera bag into the hold and have to pay extra for it. So I thought what I'd do, have a little look around and try and find a camera bag that fits the dimensions. Well, what a task that is. It really is a pain in the backside. When you're looking online or when you're looking at on Amazon, you're searching for a camera bag, trying to find the dimensions that are relative to what you need. It's actually quite difficult. A lot of them got the dimensions, but they don't tell you which dimension is which. They don't tell you which one's height, which one's width, and which one's depth. So that's not very helpful. You can work it out for the most part because it does follow some degree of logic, but it would be really helpful if they put 44 centimetres high, 22 centimetres wide, and 18 millimetres or 18 centimetres deep. That would be really, really helpful if the advertisers would do that, but they don't seem to. Now, I've got a bit of a beef with Manfrotto, because when you go to the website, I mean, I love their kit. I've got a lot of Manfrotto gear. They make fantastic mounting equipment for cameras. They make fantastic bags, fantastic accessories for the photographer. They really do. I've got 2 of their tripods. They're amazing. Love their stuff. Anyway, back on subject, camera bag. Looking for camera bag, and I had to search and search and search just to find the dimensions I was looking for. Ideally, I probably would have bought another slightly smaller Manfrotto bag. They're going to be a bit more expensive, but they are high quality and they do last. They're really robust and they protect your equipment really, really well. So I've got no qualms about no issues with the quality of Manfrotto products. But trying to find a bag that fits the size criteria, and bear in mind, if people are traveling, they're going to have a backpack, they're going to have gear in it. And this applies to any backpack, actually, not just a backpack for cameras. So they're going to want a backpack that fits within the criteria laid down by the airline that people are travelling with. Because when most people travel, there's every possibility they're going to be travelling on an aeroplane. So you're going to have to fit certain size criteria. You're going to want to take your photography bag into the cabin and put it in the overhead locker. So is it that difficult for companies to think about this and think, right, okay, what are the current criteria for airlines? Let's make bags that size. Wouldn't that be a good idea? Well, I think so, but never mind. I don't run these bag companies. But it took me quite a while to actually find something that gets close to the maximum size allowed by the particular airline we're travelling with. And I've looked through Amazon. I found a bag by KF Concept, which looked nice. A bag by, a couple of these are Chinese brands. One appeared to be Yuhan. There was a couple by a company called Tarrion that I've never really heard of. So I had a look at some of the reviews. Found a size that was pretty close to what I wanted. Because the other thing is that a lot of it's going to come down to how much gear you want to take with you. I tend to like to take my camera body, a couple of different lenses, mainly my large zoom lens and a small zoom lens and a prime lens or a fixed focal length lens for my camera, probably a 50mm and possibly a 24. And on the camera, I like to take a small zoom, so say a 24 to 105, and then a larger 70 to 200 zoom lens, and then probably a few accessories, a couple of lens extenders, that kind of thing. That's the kind of stuff I like to take. Anyway, you need a reasonable size for that. So I was trying to find the biggest bag that I could get that fitted within the size criteria that's required by this particular airline. And I whittled it down to a Tarrion. I think it's L-HL. I'll put the link in the description below anyway afterwards. Actually, what I'll do is I will confirm exactly what it is. I'll just have a little browse on my computer, which is in front of me, while I'm talking, and see if I can tell you exactly what the model is. Right, Tarrion large camera bag is what it's described as on Amazon. I will put the Amazon link below. But the specific description is a Tarrion HX L camera backpack. We're a bit dubious about it being a brand I've not heard of. Not the cheapest out there, but not silly money. Certainly not Manfrotto money for this bag. But I have to say, I'm absolutely blown away. It arrived today. Ordered it yesterday. It's arrived today. I'm blown away with how good this bag is. It's incredible. The quality for the money it's just top notch. It really is very, very good. It's got all the space I need for the equipment I'm going to be taking with me. It's got plenty of pockets, plenty of zip pockets on the side, net pockets inside. It's got a hard shell cap case on the top for putting more stuff. It's going to have plenty of room for what I need to travel and to work within the space restrictions that are defined by the airline we're traveling with. I think it's going to be good. So I will see you shortly. I'll change camera angles and we'll have a look at the bag and I'll show you what it's all about, and we'll talk about the quality, how well it's built, and look at it in general. And then what I'll do is I'll put my camera gear into it and then we'll see how it lays out, and we'll be back shortly. Okay, so let's have a look at this bag. And I must admit, when the box arrived, I thought that seems a bit small, but it is all folded down. It was all folded down inside and folded flat, so they make a very good job of packaging it actually, and it comes in quite a small box. But when you open it all out, you've actually got a decent sized bag. And I'm not quite sure what the weight is stated on the website or on Amazon, but it only weighs 1.8 kilos, so that's a great start. I'm happy with that. So we'll start with the inside. That's the top section. If I can open this up, got 2 zips. Now I'm not bothered about some of these bags that offer this kind of side entry thing. Not really worried about that. I don't really see that as something I would need. It may work for some photographers who are on the go and want to be able to grab a camera quick, shoot and back in, but that's not really why I want a camera bag like this. This is more about having somewhere safe to store my equipment. I'll go to wherever I'm going to do my photography, put the bag down, take out what I want, and that's fine. That will suit me. But that's the bag. You can see inside it's really nicely lined. Everything is really, really well made, really well stitched together. The zips are stitched on really, really well. The materials are nice. Now, I don't think this is waterproof, but I think it is showerproof. So in a shower you're fine. I believe in this package here is an overcover if you're in a nasty shower or a nasty rainstorm, and you can cover that over and that will make it waterproof. But I believe it is shower resistant, which is great. So for the most part, that's all you're going to need. Now, inside we've got hidden pockets on this side with various dividers inside, which is great. That's on both sides. So we've got one there and we've got one here. Little pouches here for pens, pencils, and clip those on there. Fantastic. At the top here we've got a Velcro sealed sprung loaded pocket, so there's plenty of storage there. In the lid here we've got a netted pocket again, which has got a Velcro closure on it which will keep it shut. And in the back of the lid part we've got another zip pocket. Again, the materials are really, really nice. This material is really thick and really robust. Yeah, I've said it once, I'm going to say it again. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. Inside the bag when you get it is this bag here, which has got all of the dividing elements for the interior. Now, I think this is probably the thing that impressed me most, because my big Manfrotto bag has got very stiff ribbing down the middle, and then you've got dividers you can move about to the left of that, to the middle and to the right of that, which is great. But the stiff ribbing in the middle is really well padded and it's robust, and it keeps the gear, if you've got expensive camera gear, you want it protected well, and that protects it well. But what impressed me about this one was the fact that what you've got here amongst these divider elements, this is a really stiff yet nicely padded divider, and these dividers actually lock in, and if you see that there on the camera just here, these guides lock in, and these got metal rods through them. Now it's the first time I tried this, so let's see how this goes. So these got metal rods in here, and then they fold down and create a division like that. Now I think that is brilliant, because that gives you a real nice robust area to put what could be an expensive lens or an expensive camera. I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's really, really good. There are 2 of those in the package, and there are all manner of other types of divider, again, which are nice and stiff and nice and padded, so your equipment's not going to get damaged if something pushes down on the outside of this at all. I'm just going to get a bit closer to the camera so you see it a bit better. Your equipment's not going to get damaged with this bag. It really isn't. We've got dividers here with lens holes. Another divider here for the side. This one's a folding type, so you can fold this round. There's another one of those. And then we've got a smaller divider to split up some of the smaller pockets. There's a number of those, and we've got there's 2 more of those small ones there. And then we've got some that are elasticated as well. So you can move this elastic around where you want, and you can use, if you've got a big lens, you might want to put your camera body in and then have a pocket where you've got some elastication over the lens. So in the event you open your bag, that's going to help to stop that dropping out. I think that's brilliant. I think there's so much there, and there's so many different ways you can divide this up. I think that's fantastic. Right, so that's the inside. Zip that back up, and then on the front here we have another pocket. Oh, so we've got another pocket there. Again, really nicely padded, both on the inside and the outside. So you've got whatever goes in there is protected, but also whatever's in there is not going to damage anything that's the other side of this front cover, which is fabulous. You've got a carrying handle on there as well, so you can easily put that in and out of the back of a vehicle, or in and out of a stowage in the plane. And then on the top here, we've got this kind of hard shell padded compartment with zip pocket on the inside, which is good space in there. In this part we've got 2 netted pockets. Not so much padding on this side, but it's adequate enough. That's absolutely fine. So I mean, that looks ideal for a drone actually. Pop a drone in there with the accessories. You'd easily fit the average size sub 250 gram drone in there with a few batteries and possibly even the controller. Not sure, but I think you probably would, because most of these little drones are quite small now. On the outside, we'll have a look at the back here. On the back, we've got another zipped pocket. This pocket will take your laptop. That will take up to, I think, a 15-inch or a 15.6-inch laptop in there. And again, that is really nicely padded, both between the back of the pack and the inside, and between this area and the inside of the bag. Really nicely padded. That's great. That's really good. And we've got a carrying handle. Ooh, that tag is getting caught. Leave that for a minute. At the back we've got a carrying handle here as well, which is great. Carrying handle there. And then we've got our straps. Now, the other thing I like about this is that it's got this material here, which will allow airflow between the backpack and your back, so you don't get your back doesn't get too sweaty, and that should help to wick away any sweat anyway. But this should help with the airflow to keep the area quite cool, which is nice. Straps. So we've got loops on the straps at the top there. I'm not quite sure what you'd use those for, but you can certainly hang stuff on those, which is fantastic. These straps are nicely padded across the whole strap. Really nicely padded. You've got chest strap here, which if you are carrying a heavy camera with heavy lenses, is an absolute game changer. I've got it on my larger bag, and I didn't think I would ever use it, but when I've got my bag full of camera gear, it is quite heavy. It could be up to 15-20 kilos. So I mean, that's not a massive amount of weight. I mean, you know, an SAS soldier is going to carry an awful lot more of that for an awful lot greater distance, don't get me wrong. but for those of us that are not necessarily used to carrying that kind of weight all the time, having the chest strap really does transfer the weight. It transfers it away from your shoulders, and it makes it so much more comfortable to carry. These are fully adjustable. Nice closures on these to adjust them really, really quickly, which is superb. Nice robust clip together mechanism for that front chest strap. So you've got all the adjustability you need, all the comfort you need. What more can you say, really? I believe there are, oh okay, yeah, on this side we have got, there's a flap here and we've got a strap there. So it's possible you could put a small tripod in there, so pop one or two of the legs into the tripod and pop the top of the tripod up through the strap. That would work quite nicely. We've got a nice, oh actually it has got side access. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't think it had, but it has got side access. So if you are on the go and you don't want to have to get too much out of your bag, you could set this up so that your camera and your the main lens you would use or that you would want for whatever you're doing is in there. You just grab that, off you go, back in, zip it back up. Now I probably won't use that. It's not something I feel the need to use, but it is there, so you could. Now there are some little tabs at the bottom here which I think, if I remember correctly, allow with some other elements. I think probably an additional accessory, you could strap a tripod along the bottom. So maybe if you've got a bigger tripod you might want to put that there. And the same on the other side, we've got a strap. And again we've got another pocket opener which allows access to the other side. So actually you've got, it's ambidextrous. You could access your gear from either side. So yeah, all in all, it's a fantastic little thing. It really is. I think it's super well made. The material's nice, it's got a nice feel about it. It really does feel quality. What more can you say? So if you are travelling and you're looking to find something, I'm just going to open up the, this is the waterproof cover. So you do get elasticated waterproof cover for it. Again, nice quality cover, nice and thick, so that will keep any rain or heavy precipitation off your bag quite nicely. So that's nice to have that included. Yeah, I think if you're travelling, particularly these days, if you're using the budget airlines where size is restricted for cabin baggage, what more can you ask for? It's great. I think it's great value. I really do. It's superb. So with that, I'm going to put all my gear inside it, and now I've got to see what it weighs. Because of course the other thing you've got to consider is that the bag and the contents don't weigh any more than 10 kilos. So you've got the size restriction and you've got the weight restriction. So I've got to load it up with my gear, and then I'm going to weigh it and see what we get, and hopefully it comes in under 10 kilos. But I'm looking forward to travelling with this. I really am. I think it's going to be a cracking little bag. It's going to do what I need. It's not too big. It's going to fit in the aircraft cabin, in the overhead lockers. So I'm not going to get fined, thankfully. Yeah, it should be all good. So, yeah. This is Nono from Nono's workshop. And I hope you enjoyed that. I would be hugely grateful if you would click on the subscribe button, click on the like button, click on the share. It would mean the world to me. I've only recently started doing this. I'm going to do all kinds of different types of videos. I've done a couple about car repairs on my BMW F30. I'm going to be doing lots of other stuff. I do all kinds of weird and wacky stuff, fix stuff, make stuff. And if there are things that I come across that I think are worth sharing, that I think people might get value from, then I'll share them. But just to get things started, I would be really grateful if you would give us a like, give us a subscribe. I'd be really appreciative of that, just to get things going, because this is not something I regularly do. This is not my day job, it's not my hobby. It's just trying to share a bit of information that I hope will be useful to people out there. Hopefully you'll benefit from this. It would be great if you do. And if you end up making the choice to get one of these, because you need to take some, actually it doesn't even have to be photography gear. It's a really good sized bag for all the kind of stuff that you might want to travel with. So yeah, it doesn't have to be about photography. there's just loads of space in there. Because you've got the ability to either use these divider sections or not. If you don't use them, you've got loads of space to put lots of stuff in there, and great for a cabin bag. So that's it from me. Really appreciate you joining me. If you have, give us a like, give us a subscribe, as I said before, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.